I am Samantha's father.
Again, I'm so very sorry for what you're going through. Why don't you tell me first, what is this billboard that we're now seeing? When did it come up?
The billboard came up, I want to say, Wednesday. It's an attempt to gather information for the district attorney and the police to use to find out whoever killed Sam and make sure they receive justice and to get that person off the street to make the city safer for whatever young person her murderer might choose to target next. We want to incentivize somebody who knows something, and someone has to know something, to maybe give them enough money to feel like they could safely get out of maybe a situation they're in close to that person. There's a GoFundMe on there. We're going to continue to fund the billboard with that money for as long as it takes to get this done, and we're going to increase the reward as much as we can to incentivize this and to try and get the right thing done.
It's almost been a year now.
Yes.
What has this year been like for you and your family?
It's devastating, as it would be for anybody, and never had anything like this happen to me or my family before, so I've got nothing to compare it to. There's numbness and then shock, which are almost a comfort, and then you start to feel things like you used to feel them, as the person you might have been before, and you find out what capacities you have to handle pain you couldn't have imagined. So it's a changing thing, and then you get to be a year out, and maybe that's when you start to get a little frustrated.
Frustrated with police investigators?
Certainly not the police. I know that the men and women out there doing the legwork are doing the best they can. Like anybody, they want to show up to work every day and do a good job and get a win. So certainly not the police. I can't really say where my frustration lies because I don't know enough about the case internally to know exactly what the problem is.
Probably already got this question, but
of course.
Tell me about Samantha.
Oh boy, I haven't gotten that question. No, that's okay.
We always see her face, we see her case, we hear the story, and I want to know, what is she like?
Oh man. Sam was her brother's best friend, and did a great job at that, and she was my best friend. She changed my life when she came into it. She was her own person, but there were things that I wanted her to know that she took. We would be in the car on a long trip, and she said, Dad, I want to play my playlist. I go, I don't know that I want to hear that. She go, oh, let me play. I go, fine. And like a Rolling Stone by Bob Dylan would come on, and so she was listening, she was learning, and the things that I thought were important to understanding life. Many of those were important to her too, and many things that I valued weren't. And she was her own person, but she was also half of my mind and my future, my family's future, my mother's future, her brother's future, all of us. And she made us proud, and I firmly believe she went down fighting, and it doesn't change anything, but I also take pride's not a word I'm comfortable with, but I take pride in the fact she lost a battle, but she did battle.
Now this battle is carrying on right now with this billboard up. How did you feel when you first saw this billboard go up?
A lot of different ways. I don't want to say I felt like I'd done something or we had done something, because nothing's really happened yet, but here we are, and we're moving forward, I hope. Nothing is going to put Sam back on this earth, but maybe if we're lucky, and we'll never know the answer to this, we can make sure this person doesn't get to kill another young girl or a young boy or somebody else. So that would be the outcome, would be to get a murderer or murderers off the streets of Schenectady.
What is your message to, I'm sure you've already said it in this interview, but what's your message to the people out here that pass this billboard, see her face, see the reward? What do you want people to know?
My message is, I would think most people say, this is terrible, how can I help? This is a way you can help. We're going to account for every cent. It's going to go to the billboard or the reward. If somehow there's money left over, it's going to go towards a memorial. So, every dime will be accounted for. If you want to help, this is how to help. Get online, look up the GoFundMe. Don't be careful driving by. But everybody says, gosh, what can I do to help? And my answer is always, asking is help enough. Now there's an extra thing.
Do you plan on having more billboards spread throughout Schenectady or even farther?
I think the 2 for now is a start. That would depend on public support and how long it takes. If the public finds this important enough to contribute to, we'll do more billboards, and we will. This is not going to go away.
Did you see the letter to D.A. Carney, or from D.A. Carney? It was a letter to the editor to the Daily Gazette. Did you have a chance?
I did. It was a response to the editorial the Gazette had published the day before. I did see that.
And do you have any kind of response to what he said within the letter?
I did speak to an assistant district attorney a few times. It was made known to me I could call with any questions. It wasn't really useful because it's also known that, what questions am I going to ask that aren't going to impede the investigation? I try to go out of my way not to say things that aren't already in the media and in the public domain. So, and I don't know much more than the public knows. My thought about the DA's letter is you've got a job to do, and I'm not really sure you have the time to be writing letters when you have better things to do.